Let's go, it's the Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. So the story takes place 10 years after the first one, and instead of focusing on one character, in this game they decide to focus on multiple groups of characters in different climates, and that's kind of where, the idea of the level design came from, I guess. And basically you'll fight in the desert, and you'll fight in the jungle, you'll fight in the snow, you get the idea, you fight in all different places. However, this kind of hurts the story in my opinion, because really you don't give a fuck about any of the characters in the groups, because they're all in different groups. When one dies, you say, oh well, actually the first cinema, while as awesome as it was, I was confused as hell of who is dying and who's living. They all look the same, all the characters. So when one gets killed, I'm like, wait, was that the character I was just using? I guess not, because there's another one that looks just like me who survived. So to be honest, the story really has no focus, and that's definitely a big downer for me. Or is it really that interesting? However, it is a co-op game, and you really aren't expecting much, because that's the main focus of the game. I will, though, mention that some of the cutscenes in this game are so action-packed badassness. I won't show them all, there's plenty of them, but here are some throughout the review that you see, and definitely give it a plus because these action scenes kick ass. They look amazing. However, the story is actually weaker than the first one, and the first one wasn't that good, so it does kind of suck.
Too many! Let's go!
What can I say? The graphics are once again top of the level. Capcom always comes through with the graphics. Lost Planet 1 still looks great till this day, especially the weather effects. And with Lost Planet 2, where you get a lot more different environments, it definitely looks great. And the explosions look amazing. The movements look great. Everything just looks great. I really can't see anybody complaining about the graphics. Top notch, excellent work. I guess some of the designs may not be to your liking, but these are some of the best graphics in gaming if you ask me, especially for all the shit that's going on. The only negative thing I really have to say is there's very, not all the time, but very few times there are slowdowns, and that's really due to, or frame rate issues, due to the big monsters on the screen. And that's kind of a negative thing because the game looks so good, and I hate when that happens, but it's very minor. Overall, the graphics are stunning. The gameplay section for me is a bit mixed. Let me get out the good. The shooting in this game feels better than the first, though it still has that auto-targeting, so you really don't need too much skill when it comes to shooting just normal guns and fighting normal pirates. And also the added things such as the shield and the different added weapons definitely helps the game, feel like it evolved a bit. So the shooting isn't bad. The grappling hook, once again, is useful, though I still think Capcom could, do so much more with it. Just grabbing onto a ledge and then jumping up, come on. How about jumping up and grabbing onto a next ledge right away by shooting it? Come on, we gotta make it quicker, man. Got to. But still, it works in this game, and that's good. The robots feel great in this game, better than the first, if you ask me. And one of the major improvements is that this game adds co-op, and there's also a negative to that, but the positive is that the single player offers 4-player co-op, and that's definitely a cool feature in the game. Definitely makes replayability higher because you can help your friends out after you beat the game. And it just works really well when it comes to using 4 guys taking down a huge-ass monster. You feel very badass. Now the problems to the game. Let's be honest, you've heard them in all the reviews, you see it on the forums, the AI sucks major nuts. Well, it does. There's nothing you really can do about it. Just play the goddamn game and hope that the AI doesn't get in your way. If the AI dies, it does not take away from your life points, so you don't have to worry about that. They're basically there to be nothing. They actually do nothing. They usually just run around and shoot the wall sometimes, and then once in a while they'll do something smart, but most of the time they're dumb as shit. This game is meant to be played with friends. So, while saying that, it doesn't offer a single player like Lost Planet 1, where basically you can go through the game by yourself. You can do it in this game. However, the game is very difficult without partners. Really difficult, I mean. Even if you play on easy, you'll have some challenges on the later levels. So, I really wouldn't say it's the best idea to play alone. Have the AI partners, let them die for you, or take up space. It doesn't matter. At least they don't take away your life points, so you don't have to worry about that. The major negative thing in the gameplay department is how they set up the online, the co-op. Basically, when you start the game or the chapter, your people or your friends or nobody can join your game till it's done. That is not fun. We already in the era where drop in, drop out co-op is needed, okay? People don't have all day. People have lives. People want to jump on, play 20 minutes, finish a part of the chapter, and move on. That's another thing. You'll have to finish the whole level or mission to save. You can't just play one part of the mission and save. This isn't easy. Now, I know a lot of people are like, well, it's gaming. You have to stay and play. Well, you know, people got things to do. And the option would have been nice. It's definitely a negative thing for people that are on time constraints, because you will have to stick around and beat the whole mission, and then you can save, and then you can leave. And the same things go for your friend joining your game. You'll either have to stop the game, which you can't just stop. You'll have to go to the dashboard and go back. It's just basically the co-op was not the greatest execution. So these are big negative features and definitely hurt the game. The AI sucks, so playing the single player is a little hard at times. And really, the co-op feature, while it is a good idea and definitely helps the game, at times the way they constructed it and the pain in the ass to just get into a game is just not even worth it sometimes, and frustrating. I'm going to try to be as clear as possible. If you like Lost Planet 1, you're probably going to like Lost Planet 2. If you like Lost Planet 1's multiplayer versus, you're going to like Lost Planet 2's multiplayer versus. Me, not a fan of the versus at all. I think it's clunky. I think the controls work well for co-op, but that's because the AI works different than a human being does. Really, the versus serves no purpose in my opinion. It's slow, it's sluggish, it's not fun. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not even going to bother showing footage. I don't even give a shit about the versus player. The co-op was a nice added feature, definitely makes the game more fun when you're with friends. However, like I said, the co-op suffers from the issues of the actual construction of how they do the damn co-op. Drop in, drop out, I don't know why you're not here. So overall, if you want to take down big-ass creatures, which who doesn't, and you want to ride around in robots sometimes and shoot missiles and all that good stuff, then this game's going to be fun for you. However, it's not the longest game. You'll beat the campaign in maybe 8 to 10 hours. And then you got versus, and if you're a fan of it, great, then that's going to add playability for you. But everybody else who doesn't feel the versus, this game doesn't offer much. It's frustrating at times. Some of the level designs are not that well thought out. However, I will say it's definitely a rent. Taking down big monsters and going into these like epic little wars with the pirates and all the bad guys is definitely fun at times. And hopefully the next Lost Planet will get drop in, drop out co-op, get extra, co-op missions where you just face the big monsters, because let's face it, that's the best part of this game. And maybe a versus mode that doesn't, suck. So overall, Lost Planet 2 is a good game, like its predecessor, just not a great game. So for now, just rent it.